It's time for Where You Live with Gene and Tony, the show that's all about owning, buying, selling, renting, and association management. If it involves a home, we'll talk about it. Here's your chance to get your homeowner questions answered. From the Concierge Landscape Studios, here's Gene and Tony.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs.
Good morning. Welcome to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. I'm Gene Sullivan.
And I'm Tony Crockett. How was your week this week, Gene?
Long.
Was it long?
Yeah. How about for you?
Busy? Yeah, it was busy.
Oh, man. I tell you, you have some weeks where you just say, I don't want to repeat that. This was
Was
one
this
of,
one of
this
those?
was one of those. Or close to it.
I see.
But life goes on.
Onward and upward.
That's right. Folks, thanks for joining us today and taking some time out of your busy schedule to connect with us here Where You Live. We, of course, are broadcasting from the Natural Green Lawn and Landscape Studios. Remember, Natural Green is a locally owned, operated lawn and landscape care company. Their mission is to use the most environmentally sensitive products available to keep your lawn and landscape looking lush, beautiful, while still healthy for both people and pets. Whether you choose their organic program or their traditional program, rest assured they are always using horticulturally sound principles for some great results. Give them a call, 763-213-2410. We are, of course, also brought to you by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. We've got a lot of topics, stories that we're covering today. We have a board president, and we're asking the question. He's starting a $10 million defamation lawsuit against someone else living in the association. And we're asking the question, is he just thin-skinned, or is he truly a target of defamation? We'll take a look at that in a little bit. Another one where in Haverhill, Massachusetts, another homeowner association, the board member said, hey, we were promised some free money. And now the city is backed out and reneging on the deal. If there's free money, I'd like to know where that is.
Yeah, sign me up, huh?
Yeah, that and so much more. So let's begin without further ado with property management in the news. Property management in the news is brought to you by Home Furniture and Abbey Floor Coverings. Their showrooms are staffed with professionals who will help you choose what you need to fit both your lifestyle and budget. Whatever you need, chances are they'll have what you're looking for. Now, if you wish to avail yourself of special pricing and discounts you're not going to find anywhere else, all Where You Live listeners can call Customer Service Coordinator Lori Matson at 952-224-2663. That number again, 952-224-2663, and ask for your Where You Live with Gene and Tony special pricing. Our first story is coming out of Texas from Galveston, and it is the board president, says Homeowner Association president, is filing a $10 million defamation suit against another homeowner at the HOA. It said a local homeowner association president is alleging that he is the focal point of certain false statements made by another resident and has filed this $10 million suit. Just at late November in Galveston County District Court, it said that a Ron Bonatti, who is the president of the Seascape Homeowners Association, is accusing another owner at the property, a Richard Collier, of making defamatory, thank you.
You're welcome.
Remarks and emails and sending them out to numerous people.
Yeah, other people. Yeah.
Now, the suit alleges that Collier is wrongly labeled Bonatti as arrogant, incompetent, dishonest, unethical, and harassing. It says things the defendant said, including that the plaintiff mishandled a restoration project. I'm really having trouble with my words here today.
You got your tongue over your eye tooth?
Yes,
You
I
can't
do.
see what you're saying?
We'll try this again here.
All right.
He acted unethically and illegally with no regard to the association's bylaws or state laws. He is going on to say that he was negligent and malicious in his actions. He's also saying that Bonatti committed election fraud. He spied on Collier's family and other friends and business associates, and he just is saying that.
Well, and Bonatti's saying this guy is just engaged in character assassination and has a personal vendetta against him.
There we go. What do you think of this?
Well, ugly, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's really too bad when things have deteriorated to this point.
It really is. I must say that the one thing that I noticed right away is that this board president was not saying that this is something that the association needs to take on in defending him.
Yeah, that was refreshing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times in homeowner associations, you're going to see a lot of people saying some very unsavory things back and forth to each other because it's they take it very personal. It's their home. And
I think defamation, that's kind of a difficult concept, I think, to understand. And I believe it's also difficult to prove in court. You and I went through some of these words used by Collier, the defendant: arrogant, incompetent, dishonest, unethical, and harassing. Some of those are opinion words. My opinion of this guy is he's arrogant, but some of them are accusatory, like
unethical.
He's dishonest, he's unethical, he's misused funds, he's violated laws and bylaws. Now, those are direct accusations, and apparently with no foundation.
Now, and of course, there's two different things that people think of when they think of defamation. They think of slander and libel, and the difference between the two for our listeners. Libel is usually someone who is making comments in writing and publishing them, whereas slander would be the spoken word in a presentation out in an open forum.
So are both of those covered under an umbrella called defamation?
Well, yes, they're both the same type of thing, but it would be different depending whether it's spoken word or the written word. And in this particular case, what happens, I think, is people just aren't careful about the words that they choose.
Sure.
And I hate.
There's obviously a lot of emotional charge.
I hate to see this because there is nothing that just gets a homeowner association meeting more riled than when people are using loaded words.
Yeah.
One of the things that really, I guess, stood out here for me was this guy Collier was saying Bonatti was spying on him, on both him and his family, and I wanted to think, is that really what's happening? I can see. I mean, I don't know, so I'm not here to say that Bonatti wasn't doing it or that he was.
Yeah.
But I know that in the past, over the last few decades, I've been to a few board meetings where a homeowner will come up and will say, the board is just spying and lurking around my home.
Right. They've targeted me. And
And what do they mean by lurking? Well, it happens that there is, the annual spring inspection. And so they're walking around the property to take a look at maintenance items. And that's lurking. That's spying. Right. Well, if that's what we're talking about, really, do you have to use
There could be a reasonable explanation. That's right.
You don't have to use such loaded words. And when people do that, they really lose their credibility, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, I think so. When they're just throwing things out there with no foundation or exaggerating or using, like you said, loaded terms, emotional terms, it's very difficult even to listen to it as a third party.
Yeah.
And certainly it's impossible to verify whether any of it is based in fact.
Yeah. One of the things that I think that we need to remember here in in anything like a homeowners association when the person is running for the board. There's also a responsibility or an acknowledgement that the person on the board needs to have that they're probably going to be more of the receiving end of people sharing their discontent.
Sure.
And you can't have such a real thin-skinned approach to being on the board. There's a little bit more that I'd like to say, but it looks like we've got to take a commercial right now, so let's do it. Folks, you're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony on AM 1280 The Patriot. Back after this.